Ahoy! All right, today we're going to be talking about Yandex. Well, the memes have been coming in strong, and after nearly 2 months of ChatGPT hype, hugboxing, and opinions out the wazoo, we finally have a quick distraction rocking up to the #1 attention spot for SEOs. The leaking of the ranking factors for Yandex, the 4th most popular worldwide search engine and Russia's go-to. Now, nothing fuels an SEO's curiosity like a strong insight into a relatively tightly kept secret of the exact ranking factors that Google uses for its current algorithms at play. Now, with notable similarities, including the knowledge that Yandex has had ex-Googlers working there, as well as the reputation as a Google clone, the Yandex leak has given a shot of excitement into the community. There are 40 gigabytes of information to sift through. There's a lot to rip apart and piece together. And this is what we're already starting to see with wild, unsubstantiated conclusions posted on social accounts in order to get traction and attention. What can we really learn from this leak? And what can we take with a grain of salt? What kind of analysis throws in a whole cup? Let's weigh in on the bigger picture of similarities and key differences. Yandex utilizes a system called MatrixNet, a learning structure similar to Google's RankBrain that attempts to deliver results from the meaning of the query. Yandex incorporated its PageRank into an almost identical fashion as Google, as well as sharing a great number of text algorithms for the smooth user experience, of course. There is a belief that Google and Yandex have strong overlapping strategies, especially when it comes to preferences in how websites should be optimized, simply based on the presence of those ex-Googlers who have been employed in the latter. So even with this knowledge, how divergent have the ranking factors become for each search engine over time? All that we can dig into at this point is Yandex ranking factors that have come to light, many of which make common sense, but there are some interesting takes in the mix. One of the big ones here is backlinks from main page. Now this is kind of common sense, but backlinks or links from other websites to your website play a role in your search engine rankings. Right, we all know that. Now, backlinks from main pages are considered to be more valuable than those from internal pages. Now, this is mostly common sense, but it's interesting to have that spelt out. And it applies to this second one, which is crawl depth. Now, this refers to the number of clicks it takes to reach a website from the main page of the website. So pages that are closer to the main page with fewer clicks required to reach them are considered to have a higher importance and thus more positively impacted search engine rankings. Now, again, we do kind of know these two, but having it spelled out and seeing the theory behind the exact ranking algorithm is very interesting, and it really sparks a lot of debates around how we lay things out, like information architecture. Third one, this is my favorite one because I've tried to rattle on about this for years, but it's called last search. Now, if a user's last search in a session is on a specific website, this is a positive impact on the search engine ranking of that website. Now, this is because it's very obvious, it's very common sense, but a lot of SEO people disagree with it. But it's literally because it suggests that the user found what they're looking for and that the website provided relevant and useful information, which is the whole damn purpose of search engines. Fourth is the top page rank backlinks. This one now was very interesting. So backlinks from the top 100 websites by PageRank actually have a significant impact in a page's ranking. So if you have a website getting a link from Wikipedia or something like that, getting those backlinks is a massively positive factor in determining that ranking, which is something that we never really thought about. Of course, the more authoritative a website is, the more backlink juice, for lack of a better word, it gives you. But it wasn't really thought about that the top 100 was a firm and fast. Now, obviously, it could be quite different in Google, and it probably is, but it's very interesting to see someone spell that out. The fifth one that I thought was really interesting was the Maps API. Just having the Maps API on your website, such as Google Maps, can impact search engine rankings, particularly for travel-related niches and local SEO. Being a plumber and having a map of where you service using the Maps API is a positive ranking signal. So those are really interesting. There's some other ones as well, which is the keywords in URL. So the presence of keywords in a URL can positively impact. Obviously, this has been around for a while. It's not a massive ranking factor, but it can impact things. Search queries, so the number of searches for a website or specific URL can affect its search engine ranking. So a website that gets searched often can positively impact its rankings. Broken embedded videos. If you've got videos all over your site that are broken, yeah, that's going to be bad for your SEO. This one, slightly more interesting, backlink anchors. So the presence of backlink anchors that contain all the words from a keyword can positively impact the search engine ranking. So if you have one backlink, having just one backlink with like an anchor is considered even more beneficial. So the ratio between good and bad backlinks is also a ranking factor. What that kind of means is, let's say you have a bunch of backlinks. Let's say you're a plumber Melbourne. You have a bunch of backlinks that say plumber Melbourne. Now they're called money anchors. They're like very on brand. They seem a little bit dodgy. Now, if you've got more than 50% of those as your anchor profile for your backlinks, Yandex looks at that and they go, this anchor profile is unnatural and ugly. So I'm sure Google does something similar. And this is why we always preach at Studio Hook, diversifying your anchor text on your backlinks. Quality of text, I mean, does that one even need to be explained? If you've got really poorly written text that doesn't go anywhere. Page ad content, if you've got an ad on the page, that is a ranking factor. It actually decreases your ranking if you have ads on the page. And then the last one that I want to cap up with, which is a fun one, just because you're going through all these, you're probably thinking, I could probably incorporate this, or I should put a map on my local business page, or have it on this. This one's called the random ranking factor. Now, there is a random factor that can impact your ranking. If a page is ranking and it is not clear why, it could be because of the random factor, which is just a search engine testing. You cannot affect this, you cannot manipulate it. It literally draws a name of a website out of a hat and decides, I'm ranking that website today. And that is excellent to hear as an SEO specialist. Sometimes you could be doing the most amazing work and Yandex just decided, not feeling it today. You didn't get drawn out of the hat. In conclusion, the leak is very new, and the information being brought forward in the SEO community and the conclusions calculated by it are sketchy at worst and insightful when given some more thorough examination. So the things I've talked about today, I've gone through, checked, but time will tell just how useful this occurrence has been and what the community can actually learn from it to pivot and adapt. But the same usual pattern as usually happens in SEO is be careful of the hype, be wary of the attention-seeking misinformation, and always go into any SEO insights with thought, patience, and above all else, a wise viewpoint. There are definitely conclusions we can draw from Yandex, like the map API, like the top 100, Wikipedia's role, and how similar PageRank is to Google, but it tells us what we already know. Google and Yandex use a lot of machine learning in calculating their algorithm. Even having the exact formula spelled out to us, ranking factor by ranking factor, we still know not that much more. We know that good content, good backlinks, and a good technically laid out website are the keys to ranking. So focus on the stuff that actually matters and don't get too caught in the rabbit holes.